More Perfect Union just dropped another video on the UAW. Let's watch.
I'm going to come out in a body bag. That's how bad it is.
That's Tony, and believe it or not, he works here.
There is a great energy, and you see that from the moment you start on your first day.
We like a family here.
Ultium is an electric battery manufacturing company in Lordstown, Ohio, a once great manufacturing town abandoned by corporate America. Thanks to massive investment in electric vehicle manufacturing from Democrats' Inflation Reduction Act, jobs are...
Yeah, this is huge. Like, this is a major part of the IRA, which was supposed to have specific provisions forcing these companies that were taking fat paychecks from the government, okay, to unionize, okay? And yet it did not happen. Now, the UAW is you know, fighting for that to happen.
Are returning to Lordstown.
Bro, you talk a lot about unions. I know, and I have never stopped talking about unions. It's probably one area that gives me the most hope. Technically, it wasn't about forcing them. It was supposed to add additional 4,500 EV credits for union-made cars, but it was blocked by Republicans in Manchin. Exactly. It is disgusting what Joe Manchin has done. And it is disgusting that Joe Biden didn't fucking literally hang him from his nutsack on the U.S. Congress, okay? So my nonstop, endless support for labor unions is probably, I would say, one area that I've aggressively pursued that has actually yielded positive results, both inside of this community with many of you guys working to unionize your workplaces or joining labor unions, and also just across the board in America. It's fucking sick. It's one thing that makes me very excited. It's one thing that keeps me positive in a sea of sadness. You know, it's awesome.
Bringing back U.S. manufacturing jobs, 680,000 jobs just since I took office. Good paying jobs, union jobs, middle class jobs, jobs that give you a sense of dignity.
But workers on the front lines describe a different reality, one that is chaotic, unpredictable, and
yes,
dangerous.
I've talked about the Kaiser healthcare worker strikes as well when it first happened, and yesterday too. I've covered it too. And that's a huge one as well. But we're talking about UAW and the electric plants right now.
To see what the electric vehicle revolution actually looks like for the workers making it possible, and to understand what it'll take to ensure EV jobs deliver for workers, not just corporate executives.
This is a 2017 Chevy Cruze LT. It was built here in Lordstown, actually. It's not just a car to me, it's a legacy. There's a legacy to this.
The first GM car rolled.
He's lucky that he's able to afford it, you know? It's like, that is perhaps one of the best indications that shit is fucked, is when even in the imperial core, the labor aristocracy has such high degrees of alienation that they cannot consume the products that they are making. Okay? That's when shit is like super fucked up.
Rolled off the Lordstown assembly line in 1966.
How soon do you need these people? Right now. You've got the jobs now. We have the jobs now.
For the next 6 decades, GM was the town's largest industrial employer and a crucial source of well-paying union jobs.
This is the start of General Assembly, the trim shop. It's where my mom worked. When she got her job at Magna Seating, it changed her life. They had excellent benefits through the UAW.
All of that changed in 2019.
It's the end of the line for workers at the GM plant in Lordstown.
After more than 50 years producing cars and other vehicles, the GM plant in Lordstown, Ohio will close down for good today.
People had to sell their homes and move away. I lost a lot of good friends, people that I grew up with.
More than 1,300 workers lost their jobs. But a year after this devastating blow, GM made an announcement that sparked some hope.
This is the Ultium battery from General Motors. The largest American auto manufacturer is going all in on EV.
Lordstown's Ultium cells plant is up and running.
It's expected to create more than 11,000 jobs, including 1,500 operations jobs at the Lordstown facility.
We knew this could be the future, this could bring industry back to Lordstown, and here we are, we have the opportunity to make the battery that will power the future.
Ultium got a $2.5 billion loan from the Department of Energy to build 3 plants and create more than 11,000 jobs. But the reality on the ground is a lot more grim.
Well over 1,000. Ultium Cells is a great place to work.
It is not a great place to work if you were on that floor.
That's, we're like a family. It is not like a family. Maybe an abusive one. I love those videos, man. Those videos are fucking awesome.
Or producing the product that they so rave about. That's so great, and this is the future. There's a dirty behind the scenes that's going on to get to that future here at Ultium.
Ultium workers describe minimal training and exposure to hazardous chemicals and unsafe working conditions.
Electrocutions were pretty common when I first was hired. I actually myself sustained an electrical injury. My left hand brushed up against one of our tab leads on the battery cell, and I was given a jolt of electricity.
At least 22 people suffered injuries or illness at the plant in just the first 5 months of 2023. Most recently, Tony's department was closed for an air quality inspection mandated by the Environmental Protection Agency. Despite mounting evidence of safety hazards at the plant, workers who voice concerns about conditions often face severe consequences.
I have seen several members in mixing, in our cathode mixing department, that were retaliated against by management for raising a grave safety issue
Jesus
in
Christ.
their department. They were all suspended pending investigation without pay.
Which brings us to another problem.
Man, sure seems bad, huh? I mean, but that's family for you. You know what I mean? That's how family works, you know? And yes, this is yet another reason why you need fucking unions, because you cannot file grievances with HR and have that be backed up with any kind of serious power, okay? Unions work because they have the threat of work stoppages, okay? That's why unions work. The whole point.
The pay. The new Ultium factory was built right next to the old GM one. This time, GM teamed up with LG to create a separate company called Ultium. That way, they don't have to honor the UAW contract at GM.
There are unionized auto workers who, through decades of struggle, have won middle-class wages and benefits. A typical unionized powertrain assembly worker, for example, earns about $60 an hour in wages and benefits.
Ultium workers, by contrast, start at $16.50 an hour.
It was just like a slap in the face, like an "are you kidding me" moment. I'm out here doing this dangerous job for you, and you're not even going to compensate me properly for it. All this federal money is coming in, but it's not trickling down to the employees. We are making poverty wages. People are frustrated, people are tired, and people are ready to fight back because this company is driving them further and further to the bottom.
Ultium workers unionized with the UAW in 2022, and they're working on negotiating their first contract.
The bargaining process has been nothing but tumultuous chaos, I would say. Over and over again, we're told one thing by the company, and then they turn around and do something completely opposite. They won't give us a wage proposal.
When asked for comment, Ultium said, Ultium Cells is committed to the collective bargaining process. But the UAW says the company has refused to come anywhere close to the GM standard. Here's the thing, with federal and state money flowing to companies like Ultium and GM, there's actually a real opportunity to make sure the jobs of the future rebuild the middle class. Unlike other federal grants, the one Ultium got doesn't mandate the company pay a specific wage.
I wish President Biden actually came down here and, just took a walk throughout our production floor and actually saw some of the jobs that employees are doing on this floor.
We're going to need the federal government to do more in terms of enforcement and holding accountable companies that fall short.
They need to stop giving taxpayer dollars to companies that essentially treat their workers like gum on the bottom of a boot.
This necessary change might be happening with newer loans. Starting in May 2023, in order to receive loans from the Department of Energy, companies have to fill out a community benefits plan outlining their commitments to provide decent wages and safe working conditions, as well as allow workers to unionize.
There is real power in terms of enforcing these contracts as long as the government is willing to exercise that authority.
But experts say there's still more the federal government and states could do for workers at all plants that get taxpayer funds.
We'd want policymakers to adopt wage standards to ensure that when government supports private sector corporations, their manufacturing workers are paid market wages and benefits. We have these sorts of standards in other sectors like construction. We've had them for nearly 100 years, and manufacturing workers deserve the same.
We're going to be making the future whenever we're talking about federal money being used for these plants. These need to be good paying jobs, and they need to be union jobs.
Chat. I was away because I had to bring, shut the fuck up about transformative content. I had the little baby. Okay, you probably saw her run in. Little baby Kaya. Gotten groomed. I had to pay the groomer. Okay? What is happening in America, folks, where you got to pay? You got to pay money out of your pocket for your little daughter to be groomed. Okay? What's happening in our schools? Her fucking coat is so nice right now. Oh my God, my baby. Here, I'll show you. Can't tell. Can't tell.